we're getting ready to come on camera, and you know what he says to me? He says, am I talking to you the whole time? Who the hell else would you talk to?
Someone who with a better personality.
Good point. Well, I'm like, wait, what do you want? You want to talk to the sound guy or the gaffer? I'm like, wait, who do you all these people in the studio.
They're all smiling.
Well, yeah, I know.
Right.
That's a silly question. Oh, you don't know which camera to talk to. Is that it? Because people ask that all the time. They sit down and they say, do I look at you or do I look at the camera?
Right.
And this is a crazy mistake. Some people will come in here, it's really funny, and it drives me nuts. But then you don't know until you know. I'll ask a question, what's your name? And then they'll look at that camera and answer, and it's like, yeah, right, exactly. And I'm always like, you can't say something in the middle of the interview.
I'm like a fish.
Yeah, they do. I'll ask them and say, oh, you know the other one they do? Well, Todd, that's a great question. Right when they start talking, I'll go, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. It's birthday week for the Tahoe Laubs. Half of us are Leos, so it's like almost every other day. Today's my brother, my son Adam's birthday, so shout out to my son Adam. A couple days ago was my dad's, and tomorrow is his family reunion. So he's almost like a Laub patriarch. Certainly almost like a Tahoe patriarch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 83 years old, can still water ski across Lake Tahoe, can still ride his bike around Tahoe one day, hike Mount Tallac the next day, has no physical ailments.
Oh, that's so good.
Swimming in the water every single day, that positive attitude, eating healthy.
Always smiling, happy. Yeah. So do you have to worry about getting other Laubs into the law firm? Because I mean, Laub and Laub sounds good. Laub and Laub. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? Like in 10 years from now, is it like Laub and Laub and Laub and Laub and Laub?
It's happening.
It is it?
Yeah. So the next generation of Laubs are. We have a choice: either doctors or lawyers. I lost. I had to become a lawyer.
You have some doctors in the family as well.
Doctors or lawyers. That's our choices. Yeah.
So what do you do if you get a bunch more Laubs in the law firm? Is it like Laubs times 6, Laub times?
Laub. Well, I set up that song years ago in anticipation of our progeny and offspring.
God, I had a great one. I'm going back maybe 20 years now. Your brother Michael had the law firm then,
and he created Laub and Laub with my dad.
Okay,
and then he went out on his own, and I joined my dad, so we continued the Laub and Laub.
And I don't know if it was when it was the original or when he went on his own, but he was into making these kind of crazy, wild commercials.
The boxer and the kid with the car, which was Jordan, who's now in law school.
And he wanted to do one where he was up on a rock face climbing. So he recruited me as a climber and as a rigger and as a guide. And we went out to Donner Summit. And we had all these cameras set up. And it was so funny because I'm around people introducing them to climbing some, and people can be very intimidating.
Sure.
He may have been more scared to the exposure than any other person I've ever was around. So it was so funny. Here he is, he's got a couple lines to remember.
Right.
Yet he was just scared to death of this thing. So I was, the whole time I'm trying to make him relax. He's trying to remember his lines. It was just a great. Every time I would see him, we'd talk about it. He'd go, remember that time? I said, oh my God. I said, you were. He's like, was I the most? I'm like, you were the most scared of anyone I've ever taken rock climbing.
It was always his one phobia.
Well,
his one phobia was just height. He just wasn't a big fan of that, and he couldn't face those demons.
But he did. How cool was it that he wanted to do a commercial? It's one thing to want to, okay, take me rock climbing. I'll be scared, but take me rock climbing, and then I've got some lines to remember. I wish I could remember what it was. I had to keep reminding him.
That man had some serious cojones.
Yeah.
He had some serious courage. He really did. He would face whatever he possibly could.
Yeah,
it was a challenge.
I was telling you yesterday. I was doing one of my typical mountain bike rides is up Tahoe Mountain from my house. It's easy. Mm-hmm. But the last time I saw Michael was on that trail, and we just we always would joke and smile, and he always had he had his shirt off, working on his tan, walking. And every time I ride that Tahoe Mountain, that little section of the trail, I know exactly where it is. Every time it makes me think of him, which I think is a beautiful thing. It is.
Awesome, brother.
It's a beautiful.
Really
it's good. I mean, the sad part's obvious, but those kind of things are nice.
And someone has put up an epitaph for him up there, and I've had people send me photos.
On Tahoe Mountain?
It's actually over near Mount Rose.
No kidding.
And I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's one of the trails because he hiked every day about 4 hours a day. And he loved it.
With his shirt off?
With his shirt off.
He got a great tan.
Yeah, and then the song by Luke Bryan, and I saw Luke Bryan the other day, and Drink a Beer. It's about losing his brother but my brother and I, we used to hang out on the pier.
Yeah.
So I cried through that entire song thinking of him, even though we didn't drink a beer because neither one of us drank beer and we barely drink any alcohol. But the point of it is just thinking about him and being on that same pier over at Pine Wild, and I cried through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I watched it with my kids, but I was dripping down and they're both saying I love you and everything else. So.
But it's good,
Special.
I feel like we always have to find the positive in these sad things when they happen, of just every day being so important and telling people how you feel. And
my brother is proof that life is fragile.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the epitome of health. As a matter of fact, he bought a bunch of tickets, and he was about to hike Mount Kilimanjaro, and he was going to take a whole group with him, and then he was diagnosed shortly thereafter
with brain cancer.
Yeah.
Just like you never know.
Stage 4 glioblastoma, was given 2 weeks and inoperable.
He was given 2 weeks.
He was given 2 weeks on his birthday, his 60th birthday, March 25th, but he still made it to October 18th.
So here you are in this law firm. I don't know how stressful it is. It seems like it would be. I don't know. I'm not.
It can be. He stressed a little bit more than I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in court probably 5 to 7 days a week. I mean, 4 or 5 to 7 times a week. Obviously, today's not one of them, but I love it. I go in with a passion, and I don't stress the same way that my brother does.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Does something like that, losing your brother, make you then say, God, I think I'm just going to give this up and spend more time doing whatever? But if it's a passion, it's something you love, huh?
It is, and I will never retire. I'll be doing this. My dad retired when he was 80. I will go, hopefully, God be willing, be well beyond that 80. I love doing that, and I focus on my 4 kids, and they're my primary.
Isn't it great to have a job that you love and you believe in? Like this. I mean, it's still a job, but I love Tahoe. I love skiing. I love the outdoors, and this is it's a perfect format for me. I'm not trained in being a TV host, but when it's from the heart.
That's true.
When
that was obvious.
But when
I'm kidding.
I know. But when it's from the heart, you sense it. You feel it.
We're God's country. If we're not grateful for what we have and live in this place, something's got to be wrong.
So what do you like doing the most? What's the funnest part of your job? Like being in court talking?
It's going to sound corny, but making a difference in someone's life. Often, about one day a week, I get someone coming in and they'll start crying during the consultation, saying, "This was this easy. Why didn't I come in here sooner to do it?" And that's so fulfilling. Some people do it for the money. Some people do it to help people, and that's where the great part is. If that's where your focus is, just helping people, making their lives a little bit better.
Right. Because I bet. I mean, in fact, I don't bet. I know by the time you come to an attorney, your stress level's high. Whatever it is.
And they should have gone to an attorney a lot sooner. They waited way too long to get there. Go in and see an attorney at the early stages of it. And if anything, just to get advice. People don't always need an attorney. They just need some attorney guidance and some advice.
Here's the one I've always wanted to ask, whether it be a psychiatrist or an attorney. I know you guys charge by the hour. And it's I always wondered when someone...
Sometimes on a percentage.
Is that right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm thinking of when the attorneys that do, or even psychiatrists, when they charge by the hour and it's 15 minutes and you see it's all broken down 10 minutes. When someone calls, do you have a little timer you push when you're talking on the phone with someone?
You're supposed to.
Is that really how it's supposed to?
But I don't.
But is that kind of how it's supposed to? I've always been curious.
Yeah, I prefer to charge more of a flat fee where I'll tell them about the situation, so it's almost like a contractor. So instead of a time and material, I'd rather give them a flat fee so there's no sticker shock at the end. We're going, why is it $12,000 bill when you told me it was going to be $1,000? I'd rather say, here's it's going to cost $2,000 and keep it there. So that way I don't have to keep track of my time so much, and they don't have to get sticker shock. And they don't also have a fear of calling their attorney or emailing their attorney because they're afraid of another charge.
Or that fear that I think people have when the attorney is the attorney's just into it for money. They'll just keep working it. But if you have a flat fee for something.
Efficiency. I'm trying to get your case done as quickly and positively as I possibly can.
God, that's awesome, man. I feel the passion. What do you got? What are you going to do today?
I've already swam in the lake. I'm about ready to go have breakfast with my dad. Well, I go year round. Breakfast with my dad, and then I'm going to have dinner with I'm go to the office for a few hours, and then I'm going to go have dinner with my son. His 27th birthday is my oldest, and and with the whole family. And then tomorrow's a huge family reunion. We've got Laubs coming from all over the United States. We'll be with my dad. So
That's
the next few days
awesome.
will be special.
That's awesome. Well, keep up the good work. Laub and Laub, Joe Laub from Laub and Laub. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Awesome, Todd.